Hello, greetings. This is Gillesmansillon. I thought I'd come and wish you a good day on this. We're preparing for this new moon. It's the first moon of the 2020s. And so it will be a launching pound. It's like a launching pad. It's in Aquarius, so it should be a very easy moon in many sense. For in those years and decades, we're gonna have to face two ideas that are confronting themselves. One in Capricorn, with all the shift in society and the material world, and in the dissolution of the 3D matrix, with the south node in the south node of the south node of the moon in Capricorn. But the focus that we need to have is on the north node of the moon, the future, which is the Cancer, which is the security, the stability, the home, the family, the environment, the inner world, the immediate environment. So we're going to have to make sure that we keep our focus on what makes us feel good, and to create that well-being in home. It's going to be very, very potent and powerful. I'm going to pull a few cards to see what the oracles will reveal today. For the highest wisdom is authenticity. It's about to sign on self, be true, to allow ourselves to be ourselves. What we need to understand is apprentissage. It's a learning process. We're learning to understand the learning process, the program of creation, what you're being taught, to have the appreciation of the process that we've been going through in this earth school. Every soul came to learn something. What is the meaning and purpose for every soul, every being that lives here is learning a specific lesson. And so we have to understand what are the lessons, and to allow others to have their own lessons. And what we need to do is to be clairvoyant, is to see beyond the veils, to see the cause and the effect, to understand the nature of things, and to allow ourselves to remain within joy and neutrality. And the outcome is, here it's called droiture. It's righteousness. It's about aligning with the light, to remove anything that's not in pure harmony with who you are truly, to allow the Oracle of Delft, know thyself, nothing more. I wanted to talk about a subject that is it's about sending rain into Australia. For we have the power to command rain, but we do not know that. And with those big criminal fires, whether it's in Brazil or in Australia, are criminal activity to try to prevent the ascension of the planet. And so, and there are technologies, but we can still send beyond that. We can utilize our power. If it rains around you, just send with your intention, send it there all over the continent. If you hear the rain, if you can imagine the rain, see it as a golden rain that fell all over Australia. And but then, so I said, well, I was like praying for the rain so I can send it there, but I don't really need the rain here. I realize you can create it from intention. For the Greek god Zeus or Poseidon knew how to create big storm. So it's just about knowing the gods and goddesses. They had this power to work with the invisible forces of nature, the elementals and the divas and all the natural forces, in order to command them. And so you can pray for it, but you can also send those storms, those rainstorms, big rainstorm, into all over Australia. So maybe if in a few days something like that happens, you'll see you participated in this process of healing that part of Mother Earth. I forgot to discuss that. I will talk tomorrow about the Great Mother. That may be the central theme of the. And so I wanted to say that the leading edge of creation, this is very, where is the leading edge of creation? Where we are on the leading edge of creation. The Earth is the leading edge of the whole universe, because it stands at the end of the seventh, the final super universe, and it is the end of the great spiral of the Milky Way. It stands on the border, and it's where there is if you seek, well, how do we get to that point, to the edge of creation? This realization and optimization of our possibilities in this participation is in the here and now. Everything, that is where it's all happening, always have been, always will be. But we are confused by time and the relativity of events. But in the here and now, there is really the edge of creation, where all things are happening, and are happening, have been happening, and will be happening. So we were going to be able to tune into that, to this void, for we live in a bubble, and there's 7 billion truths and reality. For all, each human being lives in his own truth and reality. And this bubble has a torus form. Every planet, every being, even every atom, even Einstein discovered the quanta, every atom has this electromagnetic pulse that pulses in a torus form. For once Spirit showed me the atoms, it was like I was sent into the infinitely small. In the morning, I was like waking up and going, and then I stopped on that level, and there was 3 atoms. It was quite an amazing experience. I will never forget it. For in a sense, we came here to realize as much truth as we can. As much truth is the thing is the ability. We have to learn the ability to feel without creating drama, because when we feeling is really the feeling center is really essential, because it's really what will elevate us into the higher planes. But then it's a double-edged sword, and so we do not want to understand the weaknesses makes us vulnerable, but it is within the weaknesses that we can draw on new strengths. It's not in the strengths that we can create more strengths. We already have strengths there, so it's about finding the weaknesses in order to turn those weaknesses into strengths. To learn the learning process, to understand the learning process from a higher planes, it is possible to see all of the different timelines and possibilities, and understand the meaning of every choice we make. Every choice we make just we create our destiny one day at a time. It's by the choices we make, and so. But even if we make a wrong choice, it is exactly what the life will teach us what we need to learn in relationship to that choice. Sometimes we make the wrong choice over and over again, and we wonder why, because we know that if we make the right choice, will be the greater the choice, the better the feeling, the emotion. For there are beings in the universe that have detached themselves from feelings, such as the draconians or other reptilians, hierarchical societies, that because they wanted to be able to develop the mental process without being interfered with emotions. But now they've reached an apex in consciousness, and they're unable to go beyond, so they have to reintegrate emotion in order to create a light body that will take them to these higher planes that will come later. Those things will, those spiritual concept will come into the focus later. Sometimes I speak about things that are a bit ahead of what needs to be said, but maybe still feel there may be some interest. For the highest choice will create the highest emotion, and will create the most positive result. So we want to align to that. To be like Joan of Arc, and to have no doubt in our inner guidance, no matter what. It's like this inner guidance, what we receive from Spirit. It's like somebody who had a lot of faith. And so to become warriors of light. I'm going to pull one more card here. And focus on the good in others and the good in yourself rather than the opposite. And because there will always be contrast to take you away from seeing that there is good in all things. The card of the day is reparation. It's about fixing up, repairing, reconnecting, healing, addressing certain things that have not yet been addressed. Well, I hope you find this message interesting. I'm going to sing a song for one more card from the I Ching. This painting behind me is a very simple painting of a tree, 2019. It's on the cardboard. I'll leave it like that. And this is a painting from 2008, but it's reminiscent. It's an invocation. It's a decree, something, and it's an invocation, a decree. It's in French. And but it's reminiscent of my first series of painting, first couple of years in 1889, 90, even 91. I was living in Los Angeles, then later in Key West, Florida, and Coconut Grove. I was writing, I had a big loft in LA, and I did some big paintings with writing text of Buddha, Confucius, Lao Tzu, the truth by God, and so words were very powerful in my first series of painting, and this is a bit reminiscent of it, and it's a different approach though. Finished with a song that went through I sang a song of The Cure yesterday. It's another song of The Cure. It goes like this. I would say I'm sorry if I thought that you would change your mind, but I know that this time I have said too much, been too unkind. I try to laugh about it, cover it all up with lies. I try to laugh about it, hiding the tears in my eyes, 'cause boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. I would break down at your feet and beg forgiveness, plead with you. But I know that it's too late, that there is nothing I can do. I try to laugh about it, cover it all up with lies. I try to laugh about it, hiding the tears in my eyes, 'cause boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. I would tell you that I love you if I thought that you would stay. But I know that it's no use, you're already gone away. Misjudge your limits, pushed you too far. I took you for granted, I thought that you needed me more. I would do most anything to get you back by my side. But I keep on laughing, hiding the tears in my eyes, 'cause boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. The song of the Cure, it reminds me of my 20s. I was living in LA those times. Of course, the boys cry. Everybody cries. It's part of the physical process, a release of tension when the tension is too much. For that, crying is something that was never experienced before. We could never experience before we came into physicality. And so I'm going to pour one more card. This card, I don't know those, they're new cards. I don't know them very well. For the I Ching is one of the most ancient book of philosophy. It's the first book that I ever studied in terms of, and here we have the hexagram number 38. 38 is opposition. It is opposition is necessary before union. So here it's called the divergences. To avoid disorder action, issue coming out of diverging will. I have to translate it from French. On top is the fire, and below is the water is agitated. This figure indicates the divergence of view and the process of intention. Il ne sert à rien de Oh, okay. It is no need to become sad for what we lost or to believe foreplay. Try to bring the union, the diverging opinions together and to orient towards the same objective. Reassemble your strengths of the member of your family, develop the trust between each of them. Then you will gather the benevolent rain after a long period of dryness. So in a sense, we continue to work with this idea of rain and to have life raining upon us, to nourish us. Well, I thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.